Hey everyone, it's Chris with HotShotsCatering.com coming at you with another great episode of Hot Shots TV. And today's episode is going to be all about the highly caffeinated coffees, okay? I know some of you guys out there are risk takers, right? Some of you guys like to go jump out of airplanes and skydive. Some of us like to go rock climbing. Well, I kind of personally think that's kind of scary. Me personally though, I like to try some things different with coffee. And today's video is all about the highly caffeinated, strongest coffees that are on the market today. You can pick these coffees up online just like I did. There's a few other ones that aren't here that are supposedly really caffeinated as well, but some of those were out of Australia and things like that. So I just figured I'd try these coffees, the most caffeinated coffees that you can get today. And we're gonna try them, we're gonna do the coffee profile, and then we're gonna follow up with another video, a part 2, that's gonna go over how caffeinated these coffees really are. So stay tuned and we're gonna be right back. And welcome back. So these are the baddest, most caffeinated coffees that you could buy right now. And so real simply, I'm just gonna go over a little bit of information about each one, basically off of their website that they kind of say claim to fame for each one of these. And other than that, if you wanna find out a little bit more about each brand, I recommend you go to their website, find out a little bit more information, but as much information as I could find out with going into too much detail and too much research, I just pulled up some basic information here. So let's start with the Devil Mountain. In Devil Mountain, this guy right here is the most powerful coffee in the world. So powerful, it's a sin. Dark roast, smooth, never bitter, enjoyable cup of coffee without giving you the coffee jitters. It's better to sin than to have a death wish. Okay, so anyways, that's the next guy here, Death Wish. Makes sense later on. So that is Devil Mountain. So now, this Valhalla Java is actually a Death Wish coffee, but you'll see here in a second. So carefully crafted for the world's most powerful guitarist, Zakk Wylde. Okay, so that's why this one has a different name. Forged from the volcanic soils of Indonesia and nutrient-rich soils of Central and South America, Death Wish Coffee Company presents Valhalla Java Odinforce Blend. This artisan roast has been carefully crafted for the world's most powerful guitarist, Zakk Wylde, with maximum flavor and a high caffeine content. This blend will bring you back from the nights you thought you'd never wake up from. Do you bleed black? Okay, so that sounds pretty dangerous as well, pretty threatening for a cup of coffee. Okay, so then we got this guy here, Biohazard. Okay, so Biohazard Coffee presents the strongest coffee on earth. Now, just so you know, most of these say they're the strongest coffee in the world, on earth, or what have you. But I will say that their caffeine content, normally a cup of coffee is like 200 milligrams, 300 milligrams of caffeine. These are going up to close to 1,000. One of these guys actually supposedly over 1,000 lab tested. So anyways, I digress. Biohazard presents the strongest coffee on earth, 928 milligrams of caffeine, will wake you up from the deepest of sleeps, and get you through the toughest of meetings. Also great for early morning college classes or up all night study sessions. I don't know how you're gonna study if you have 900 milligrams of coffee in you, but anyways, let's see. So this product is the pre-ground variety. So these, just so we know also, let me step back. All these coffees, this one here, once again, I'm reading off of their website, but this one's actually a whole bean. And all of these are whole beans. And if you remember, I always get whole bean coffees because I want the freshest flavor for one. Something that if it's been sitting in the bag for a while or what have you, a whole bean is going to be a lot better than a ground in a lot of ways. So, whole bean is what I have here. Biohazard is made with Robusta beans for a dark organic roast. Our opinion is that this is the best cup of coffee with which to start your day, so please gift this to your loved one, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that is Biohazard. Now, Insomnia is dubbed the world, this guy right here, dubbed the world's strongest coffee. A single cup, which I guess is 12 ounce, has 1,105 milligrams of caffeine per 12 ounces. So that's pretty insane right there, which hence its name, Insomnia. For the serious coffee lover, strong coffee with a smooth, nutty, and sweet flavor, carefully selected blend of high-quality Arabica and Robusta beans has made this new black Insomnia even better. Roasted in an age-old Italian tradition, slowly and carefully in a small batch drum roaster, allows for a smooth yet strong aroma, Robusta flavor, velvety body, and heady crema without any unpleasant bitterness or acidity. That's what we're going to look for in this guy here. Okay, and then lastly, this, I really chose this too because it supports firefighters. It's one of the few that I've seen that does that in this time of age. You know, I love to support our first responders. So I got this one. It was a toss-up because there was another one as well, which hopefully we'll do maybe a second round of this if there's more of these coffees out there. But like I said, I tried to find the most common variety of these, but what was supposedly the most caffeinated coffee. So this one here, it's named after the baddest man on the planet, and we're proud to bring you the baddest coffee on the planet with 2 times the caffeine. Now I'm going to script this name, Stipe Miocic. Anyways, so he's an MMA fighter. I looked him up. I apologize. I don't watch a lot of MMA fighting. I am a black belt, just so you know, but I don't watch a lot of MMA fighting. So anyway, Stipe Miocic, go check him out on YouTube. This coffee was kind of named after him, and it is a rich, bold taste that gives you an extra kick, more punch, when you need to make your day want to tap out. Get your extra strong coffee today. So that concludes what these are. Now, if you want to find out any more information, like I said, go out to their websites, do some more research. That's not what we're going to do here. We want to get into the coffee profile with these coffees, and we want to find out exactly what do they taste, what do they look like, what is that profile, okay? And then the part 2 of this video, I'm going to be drinking these coffees for about a week, okay? And then I'm going to do a part 2, and I'm going to tell you how I feel which one has the most caffeine, okay? So let's do a real world experiment. Someone who likes caffeine, but you know, I'm strongly affected by caffeine, and I'll tell you, if one of these is really strong with caffeine, I'll let you know. So let's get into the tasting, and we'll be right back. And let's get into it. So, first thing I will say out of looks, just by looking at these coffees, these are probably some of the darkest coffees I have brewed thus far. And, you know, they're so dark they could be literally motor oil. I could put them in a car. So that's a good sign, especially if we're looking for caffeine, I think. So let's just go through these. If you want to follow along, we have the coffee profile here. It's down in the description box. Pick this up, download it. You can follow along with me, and let's just go through these coffees here. And first what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the beans, then I'll go to the tasting. So the first one, Devil's Mountain, the black label. The beans on this guy are very black, and most of these have been that way. So they're mostly really black beans, Robusta beans, and they are very oily. There's maybe one really that's not as oily, and I'll tell you as we go along, but these are very black, very oily, as you can see. So let's start here. Be very careful. Now, what did I do as far as grinding, brewing, all these? I used the KitchenAid grinder that you saw there. Put it at about 5.6, so a little bit of a pretty much a medium grind. And then I pretty much brewed them for an 8-ounce cup of coffee. So that's what we're doing here. That's normally what we do here. So they're all consistent, all the same. Timings might be a little bit off, but for the most part, we brewed these as fast as we could. So it should be pretty accurate to what you would be tasting at home. So let's start with the first one. Very black in color is the first thing I could tell you. Aroma is interesting. I will say this, with the aroma on a lot of these, it might sound bad, and I always throw one of these in there that's like, hey Chris, what are you talking about? If you ever go to like the Spirit Halloween store and you put on one of those masks, it kind of smells, to me, it reminds me of that. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but some of these have a unique taste to them, or excuse me, a unique smell to them, aroma. And I wouldn't say bad, I would just say, you know, it's definitely not, to me, enticing, appetizing, let's put it that way. But it has kind of a very kind of tarish, oily smell to it. Probably a burnt smell. You know, these might be over roasted, obviously. So color, dark, taste. So that's very, I don't want to say burnt, but it tastes very, very nutty, I would say, very smoky, you know, something that is definitely been roasted for a while. But, you know, it's not bad. No acidity, very smooth. Definitely a bold coffee. Nutty, very, very smoky, leathery. And I'm gonna assume most of these are gonna taste that way, but let's find out. So I wouldn't say bad, but you know, without trying these other ones, I can't tell you if it's my favorite or not. So let's go on to the Valhalla Java. Okay, as far as aroma, pretty good aroma, more like a medium blended coffee. Color is pretty much the same. All these, I'll be honest, all these are pretty much just black. So we can kind of almost skip the color there. Taste. Surprisingly not too bold. Definitely not really acidic either. You know, I would say doesn't taste old or stale. Maybe a hint of sweetness. Definitely more nutty. I would say probably leather, smoky, but definitely not as smoky and leathery as the Devil's Mountain here. Very good. It's more along the lines of a medium blended coffee, medium roast coffee to me, though it definitely looks more dark. Making sure I'm calling that correctly. Devil's Mountain, Devil Mountain. Devil's Mountain, Devil Mountain. Okay, so let's go on to Biohazard here. Color, like I said, is pretty much the same. The smell, ooh, I almost forgot. Before we went on to the Valhalla, before we go on to Bio, Valhalla beans, definitely dark, not as oily as the other ones, as the Devil Mountain, but definitely dark, probably a little bit lighter too. I think Devil Mountain is going to be the darkest on here, but not as oily, so you got that too. Biohazard, probably the second lightest out of all these, I would say. It looks like a medium blend almost. Not too overly roasted and definitely not oily. It's probably the second least oily coffee as well. So let's go back into this. Aroma, good. Nothing stands out with me for this one. Now this one's interesting. When I poured this one, I kind of had the same thing. This one's really kind of like a bourbon flavor. It doesn't list that on here, but it definitely has some kind of bourbon notes to it. You can definitely smell it in the beans. And it's good. I like it. Very leathery. I would definitely say leathery. Not so much as smoky, but not really even acidic either. Very rich, very bold. Definitely a little bit bolder than the Valhalla Java. But so then the Black Insomnia. These are probably the lightest beans here and probably the least oily. But the coffee's still really, really black. Aroma, not really much of aroma. Color is definitely dark. Taste, I would say really rich and bold. Maybe a hint of acidity, but definitely rich and bold. And I'm not tasting a lot of the smoky or leathery. I would definitely say nutty, maybe a little bit on the leathery side, but you know, it's a pretty good coffee. Let's try this fire department coffee. Okay, so this one, now this one is definitely probably the second most darkest beans here, and definitely the second most oiliest beans is this guy right here. Smell is very leathery. It's a good smell, I guess. Color is definitely dark. Let's taste it. I like that. It has a little bit of different taste. Maybe a little bit more herbal on this one, but I would say pretty much along the same lines. Very nutty, probably more herbally, not as smoky. This one has so far been the smokiest I think I've tasted. Pretty good, pretty good. So what can we say about these coffees? I would say for the most part, it's pretty hard to judge on these, okay? Now, how late I stay up tonight will be a different story. But I will say, you know, this one kind of was a turnoff for me. It was a little bit too strong, a little bit too overpowered with the smoky notes and all that. I'll try one more time here, but I think it was just too overpowering. But you might like that taste. You know, if you like the really strong smoky, I would say this one, the Biohazard, was kind of the same too. Had a different taste, really bourbon. If you like a bourbon coffee, that kind of bourbon notes, I would say this is probably going to be the coffee for you. Believe it or not, the Valhalla, I think I liked it pretty, kind of the most. It was the closest to just kind of a bold, medium cup of coffee that I like. It didn't taste too overpowering on any of the notes. It was just kind of a solid, medium style coffee, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. If you can get the caffeine out of it, it'd be a great thing. Which is surprising because if you watch my 2019 coffees, I was not a fan of Death Wish coffee, was not. So maybe there's something to be said there. Black Insomnia, I think I like this one as well. I like the richness of this. It's a little bit different. It definitely is bold. I would say it's probably a little bit less strength than the Devil Mountain here, but I kind of like that. I like that it's not too overpowering, but it's pretty good. And then lastly, this one wasn't bad either. I would say a very unique taste, very more, can't quite put my finger on it, but maybe more herbal, if anything. But a good blend. If it was my personal ones that I would probably want to drink, I like the Valhalla a lot. And once again, just so you guys know, as always, if I sponsor any of these things, I would let you know, but I personally paid for each one of these coffees. So I am not leaning to one side or the other here. I'm just giving you my honest opinion, which is what I think you should get, especially in a review. Everyone's going to be different, but I think the notes and everything, for the most part, if you drank these coffees and you looked at the colors and you saw the oil of the beans and everything, you're going to say pretty much the same thing I'm saying here. So I hope this video helps you, and I hope these videos where I'm doing these kind of coffee profile reviews are helpful to make a decision on maybe what kind of coffee you want. None of these coffees kind of jolted me up and said, oh wow, that's highly caffeinated. I'd say, if anything, this one definitely as far as the taste goes. You know, the Valhalla, I really like that one. I actually like the Biohazard too. If you like bourbon flavors, that's going to be one I would recommend to go after. The Black Insomnia, I liked it. It was probably just a different flavor profile for a medium blend coffee, but I think these two would be considered mediums almost to me. This one was good, but a little bit to me more on a different herbal side, different notes. Wasn't too crazy about it, but it was good. The least favorite, I would say Devil's Mountain. My best favorite, the Valhalla blend. So if you guys have any comments, if you guys tried these coffees, let me know down in the comments below. I want to know what you guys think about these coffees, and just let me know. You know, other than that, that's going to conclude this video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Tell me in the comments below what you guys want to see next time, and I will see you guys next time. Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video today on the world's strongest, most caffeinated coffees. If you've tried them, let me know in the comments below what you like. And if you haven't been out to Shop Hot Shots yet, definitely go out there. We got the latest in coffee gear. We're gonna have shirts. We have a brand new coffee out there called the Event Blend that kind of is, for us, our go-to coffee for all of the events that we do here in the DFW Metroplex. So check it out. If you want to see more content, click up here. And if you have not yet, you really got to think about it after this video, is subscribe to our channel. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you next time.